What is up, YouTube? This is the other do with John Oakland here. If you don't know what we really do on the show here, is basically when football season is over, free agency, the draft, all that is done. Obviously, right now with the coronavirus, there isn't a lot going on. So I like to talk about past NFL players, talk about the upcoming season when the schedule comes out, a lot of that stuff, and of course the Last Dance came out. We're gonna talk about that just a little bit. We're also gonna talk about the Buffalo Bills. Can they win the AFC? Yes or no? To really summarize that, no, I don't think the Buffalo Bills have a chance to win the AFC. Nobody has a better arm than Patrick Mahomes. Nobody is a better quarterback in the NFL than Patrick Mahomes. I do truly believe that the Buffalo Bills are going to win the AFC East by one or two games ahead of the New England Patriots. But on the other side of on the other side of this, when you have a one extra wildcard spot per division or per one for AFC, one for the NFC. That gives maybe a Patriots a chance. People are downing the Patriots, and people are saying this or that. I said the Buffalo Bills before the Stephon Diggs trade. They're going to win the AFC East in 2020. This helps even tremendously more. The biggest reason why I said that is you look at it here. Josh Allen, as a quarterback, is physical. He has the physical attributions. He can run the ball when he needs to, but more importantly, he's continuing to improve and getting more accurate in the pocket. And that's what you need for a guy like Josh Allen in the same draft as Josh Rosen, Sam Darnold, Baker Mayfield, and some many other quarterbacks. What Josh Allen did last year, bringing that to the Buffalo Bills in his third year in the NFL. He's going to improve. The whole Buffalo team is going to improve. Ed Oliver, Josh Norman, Jordan Pyre, Tre'Davious White, so many other guys they have on that defense, and the offense is all a recipe for success to win the AFC East in 2020. But the fact of the matter is, I don't give the Bills a chance, like I just said, to win the AFC. With Patrick Mahomes' arm, with Patrick Mahomes' accuracy, there's just really no chance at all in any way, shape, or form. Okay, other news that we're going to talk about just a little bit of the Last Dance for a minute. To basically just summarize it, because I talked about it in the live video yesterday. I'll check it out. Link in the description down below. Is the sports media can be evil and deceiving. To question Michael Jordan's dedication to the game of basketball, it's just outright stupid. It just is in every way, shape, or form. More of my thoughts tonight, like I say in the comment section below. Hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification. Thanks for watching. We also got one more thing we're going to do. Talk about some of the underdog or underrated games for 2020. The only reason why I say one of these games is the Las Vegas Raiders and the Denver Broncos is because of that extra wild card spot. With that extra wild card spot, you can say for the Raiders, they're trying to change that narrative. Derek Carr is trying to change the narrative. Is he a franchise quarterback? Is he meant to be a starter in the NFL? Is he what you call the guy for the Las Vegas Raiders? He's trying to prove people wrong, but also the Raiders are trying to compete. Last time they were in competition, Derek Carr had an MVP-like year, then got injured. So they're trying to change this 4 years later now. With the competition between the Raiders and the Broncos, with both teams making defensive moves this offseason, aka free agency or the draft. Do look on the offensive side of the ball. It's, in my opinion, maybe it's pretty even. Maybe I'm crazy. Y'all let me know. With Ruggs, you got Hunter Renfrow, Darren Waller, Josh Jacobs, backup and Isaiah Correll. You got Derek Carr, and I forgot who their backup is at quarterback. They got great guys on offense. Then you look at the Denver Broncos. Corey Sutton, Jerry Jeudy, Noah Fant, Royce Freeman. You got Philip Lindsay, Melvin Gordon. And I think they still have the fullback Janovich, but let me know if they still don't. Then you got Jake Bucket, backup tight end. I know Jake Butt, it's a weird name. But the fact of the matter is both teams in terms of offense, on offensive firepower on paper, are really good. Now, can they execute that in this game is going to be really interesting. With the AFC pretty much being summed up as Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs are going to win the division, going to win the AFC in 2020. I love my Broncos, and I like to see the Chiefs lose because they're in my team's division. But nobody's going to beat Patrick Mahomes with that 32nd overall pick in the first round of the 2020 NFL Draft. They drafted another running back. So all this accumulates to looking to this game. Week 17. That's the reason why I have it as one of the other underrated games that people aren't talking about. It's not just because of the extra wildcard spot. It's because the Raiders play the Denver Broncos in Week 1 and in Week 17. So it says the Las Vegas Raiders play the Broncos in Week 1, the first week of the season, and the last week of the season. That's going to be exceptionally key. Like I said, with the extra wild card spot, with playing against the Broncos in Week 1 and Week 17, they're going to have to establish that early. Either is their bread and butter the defense or the offense. This is in terms of the Raiders schedule. Again, I'm a Broncos fan. That is it. We're trying not to be biased as we can. But looking at this game, there's so many stories, there's so many things I could tell. Look at it for the Raiders on the defensive side of the ball. You got Jonathan Abram, who was injured last year. He was such a physical guy, such a good guy, hard worker. Him coming in his second year in the NFL, first year as a starter, with Jonathan Joseph and some of the moves they made on defense. It's going to be a very interesting game. Now, when I say the Raiders or Broncos, that's the Week 17 version, not the Week 1 game. Derek Carr is going to try to change the narrative, but also the Denver Broncos are like, can we finally get back into the playoffs? Because we haven't been in about 5 seasons since Peyton Manning retired. 16, 17, 18, 19. Yeah, this will be the 5th season, potentially. With that extra wildcard spot, it's going to cause a lot of edge, a lot of energy. Think about it, for the Las Vegas Raiders, they're in a new city, a new stadium. With all that excitement, it can get to your head, and you're just not thinking of the main point. You're thinking of the main objective. Can that distract the Raiders in Week 1 against the Broncos? Week 17, even though we're talking about Week 17 with the Raiders and Broncos, could that distract them? I mean, in my opinion, to a certain extent, the Broncos have the advantage. Maybe not in terms of roster, but how Drew Lock ended the season with that potential, that high potential, what he could be for the future franchise quarterback of the Denver Broncos. John Elway finally successfully drafting a quarterback with those offensive weapons. How they ended the season, that hype going into next year. Then with the Raiders going into a new city, new stadium, their last game of the season, their first season, last game of the season in their new stadium. It's going to be a very interesting game. It will be curious to see how it works out. Let me know what y'all think, though, in the comment section below. How do you think it's going to work out? Week 17, the Las Vegas Raiders and the Denver Broncos. How is that game going to work out? And we'll talk about that a little bit more later. Last underrated or underdog game, more of those will be covered at 2:30 p.m. on the Facebook page. The Rams and Cardinals in Week 17. I say this is a key game for so many reasons, but we're going to go couple through those right now. Number 1, the Rams missed the playoffs last year after being in the Super Bowl. Cardinals, Kyler Murray in year 2 with DeAndre Hopkins and Christian Kirk, Larry Fitzgerald, all those guys they have on offense. The more important thing, this game is important for both teams, but I think it's a little bit more important in terms of future jobs, but for the LA Rams. And I say that because I said, if the Rams miss the playoffs for the 2020 NFL season, Sean McVay is going to be on the hot seat in 2021. So if they lose this game and they're still not in playoff contention by Week 17, and they lose in Week 17 and still not being in playoff contention, Sean McVay is going to be on the hot seat. They're going to have to rebuild again. They're going to have a very hard time trying to pay Jalen Ramsey with that $20+ million in dead cap for the next 2 years. About $42 million in dead cap. This game is going to be key. I mean, it's key for both teams so they want to make the playoffs. That extra wild card spot is going to have more pressure for the Rams than the Cardinals. I say it's for this very reason. Like I just said, if the Rams miss the playoffs in 2020, Sean McVay will be on the hot seat for the 2021 NFL season. On the other side, you could talk about the Arizona Cardinals, where Kyler Murray in his second year, can they develop? You got Isaiah Simmons. You got Patrick Peterson, Chandler Jones. You got some of those other guys. Back up Jordan Hicks, who's a good locker room guy. So many guys they have on defense and offense. And they address a little bit of the offensive line. Again, it doesn't necessarily matter what you have on paper. Can that translate to on-the-field success? That's another question. This team is unproven yet. The Rams are kind of proven. They went to a Super Bowl in 2019, but they haven't done anything since. And they didn't even do anything in the Super Bowl. Near the end of the 2018 season, Jared Goff had 6 touchdowns to 7 picks. So we already saw early, their first year going all in, and it already failed before the season ended. This game is going to be exceptionally key for the coaching staff. Is this whoever their new defensive coordinator is, can they succeed? How much are they going to pay Cooper Kupp in the next year or two if they pick up his option? Who's going to be their future running back? Todd Gurley's gone. How are they going to pay Jalen Ramsey, depending on how this Week 17 game goes against the Arizona Cardinals? I mean, they got so many interesting games here, but the biggest underrated game is going to be the Rams and the Cardinals. There's a situation here that could happen in Week 17, Rams versus Cardinals. Either both teams are not officially in playoff contention, and one of these teams needs to win this game to be in playoff contention for that last extra wildcard spot for the NFC. That, I think, is going to be a situation here for the Los Angeles Rams. But let me know what y'all think in the comment section below. Again, this is the other dude with John Uncle signing off. Hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification. Thank you for all the support. Monday at 1:30 p.m., 11:30 a.m. California time, I'm going to be interviewing quarterback Carson Palmer on my show on Instagram Live. Kind of talk about his career a little bit. What was it like playing at USC, and what was it truly like having Hugh Jackson as head coach? Again, this is the other dude with John Corn signing off. Have a good one. Joe Flacco, you're not a Hall of Fame quarterback.